I feel so, I mean, not a lot of people get to do what I do. I think, you know, I recognize what a privilege it is to do what I do. You know, I wish that you know, someday I hope to make more money doing it.
Yeah.
You know, I think that I'm in a position where I feel really grateful for being able to do this. Yeah, I can't, I mean, you've seen what I'm like. You've seen the other side. I mean, I don't want to paint myself as like I was a monster, but when I was as a counselor, you know, it was exhausting. And I was exhausted a lot. And it's nice to have more energy and to be less scared. You know, like you guys would slam doors and I'd be skittish and all that stuff. So, yeah, I'm glad that you've been able to witness me do this, because for a while I think it didn't, like what I was doing, I know was admirable, but it didn't look like I was very fulfilled, I imagine.
Yeah.
Just sort of surviving.
What would life be like if you didn't take that turn?
I don't know. I can't even imagine it.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would have found. I don't think I would have found art if things hadn't come together like they would have. Again, just really fortunate. Yeah. I don't know what it would have been. I had to get out of that field.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad we don't have to worry about that.
Me too.
You know, because when I don't make art for a couple of days, I can get a little grumpy. You know, I just have this.
It's become a part of you.
Yeah, for sure. Something that it feels like it's no longer like a want.
Yeah.
But like a part, like you said, a part of me. It's kind of my diary, if you will.
Talk about that for a second.
Well, I mean, I can look back and I can tell you where I am when I was doing this, or what I was thinking, or where this story came from in my life. So, you know, it's like, cool. You know, I can look back at all my paintings and kind of remember where I was at. And that's pretty fun.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I just came up with that right here on your podcast.
I really like that.
Yeah. But it feels that way. And, you know, when I was at the library and I had like 40 paintings up, it felt like, you know, here I am. Like, this is me. This is my diary. This is my, you know, you're looking at.
Like showing your emotions to the world in a visual form.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And people can interpret it. I mean, some people hate it. Some people think it's weird. Well, it is weird. Aggressive, angry, but funny, comical, but gnarly. Yeah.
But it's you.
Completely.
The last thing I want to touch on, I want to circle back to one of the things you said in your first answer.
Yeah.
Which was how you, like, this part of your life started when you were 43. You found yourself and everything came together at the perfect time, you said.
Yeah.
At 43 years old. And our culture pushes kids at my age to find that purpose and that meaning. Yeah, I don't know if I have a specific question for you on that, but I just want to hear your thoughts on that.
The older you get, the more you see different chapters in your life and why they were there and what you were doing and, you know, why you did what you did. I don't know. I think the idea of like just knowing what you want to do and doing that for the rest of your life, maybe there's some people that do that. It seems a little boring to me. Like, I think the experience of going out and trying new things and failing and how many jobs have I had in my life, you know, but exploring the country like I was able to do and see things and maybe try on a bunch of different hats. And I love those experiences. Live in different cities. I mean, the idea of, no, not your question, but the idea of just like only living in one place for the rest of my life is difficult for me to comprehend.
Yeah, you take your identity as a sum of all your experiences, and so to have like a
for sure
interesting identity, you got to choose and take parts of different places.
Yeah, and you got to take some, you got to have, I mean, nobody's story is going to be smooth. You got to have some rocks in that road, and you got to have some hard times. I think that's what builds character, makes people interesting.
Yeah.
Lucky to the person who at 17 knows what their life is going to be and does that for the rest of their life. But to me, I don't know. It was just, I never knew, and I've been struggling to figure it out. But, you know, when I look back on it, it seems like, I don't know, a great story. Not one that's done yet, but I expect you to go through a bunch of different things in your life to try. You already have. And to gain something from each of them, and to forget what you want to forget, and to kind of take the positive and kind of figure it out. I mean, you're going to do lots of different things. So there's no pressure, and you never know. You're never too old to learn something new, to figure something out. You know, even I gained this love of history and World War II and things like that in my older days. Like there's just so much to do. There's never a reason to be bored. There's so much interesting stuff out there to see and to do. Yeah, I'm never bored, which is nice. You're never bored either.
No.
Yeah. It's a gift, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pap was never bored. You know, he always had something to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always finding a reason there's always a reason to live, always something to do while we're here.
And even when I'm not doing anything, it's by choice. I'm not bored because I want to be not doing anything.
Right.
You know, it's intentional. Yeah.
I think one of the most entertaining things to do is just sit there with your thoughts and be like, wow, there's a lot going on in there.
For sure. Which makes, you know, when Chris and I, it's an off topic, but, you know, Chris and I went kayaking this year, and I'd forgotten, when I was younger, I used to do that. I'd forgotten how amazing it is just being out in the water on a kayak and just kind of floating, and that silence around you. We need to do that. I go back to that a lot, and just that silence was so wonderful.
It's so rare to find silence nowadays.
Yeah. You always hear motors wherever you go.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I was climbing at Rumney this summer, and we're up in the mountains, and there was a motorcycle show, like at the bottom of the mountain, one of the parking lots. Guys are doing donuts, and we're like on a cliff, and it's just
there's no escape.
Super loud. It's crazy.
Yeah, you got to go way back
in
the woods to get away.
And it's beautiful when you find that.
Yeah,
and it's so refreshing.
I'm so glad you've got that connection. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Chris told me the other day, one of my friends, he was talking about how humans are always living above their noise level. And so that over time just causes like minor stress that just builds up and builds up and builds up. And it's the reason why when we hear silence, it's just so relieving. And I think it lets our thoughts just like explode.
For sure.
That's why at night, like, I don't know about you, but at night, like, my brain just goes sometimes.
Yep.
And like on your walks, like if you let yourself just not have your earbuds in, you're gonna have all that, have all those thoughts.
For sure. I'm so excited for you to be out in like the West on your trip this summer and see the stars from like Utah.
Yeah.
You'll never be the same.
I can't wait. It's gonna be really
cool.
It's
so amazing. Yeah.
It puts so much in perspective too.
Yeah. Oh, it really does. It makes you feel tiny and insignificant, which I am happy to feel sometimes, you know? You know, it just doesn't take it, you can't take it too seriously.
Right.
Because we're just a blip.
You just finished watching a clip from the Grateful Podcast with me, your host, Jack Wagoner. If you enjoyed it, check out the full-length episode right here, or subscribe to the channel for more podcast episodes and videos like this in the future by clicking right here. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Stay grateful.